So today we are going to see more concepts, very basic concepts regarding Java programming. So the first and foremost thing that you should know is regarding that Java is a case sensitive language. Okay, it is case sensitive. Case sensitive language. That means now here when I say main, okay, so this main method may m is small. If I define the main method with capital M, then that will be different. So what I am trying to say is when I am declaring any variable, suppose I am declaring int I, okay, and int I, both the variables are different. Why? Because Java is a case sensitive language. So these both variables are not the same. They will be treated differently because they have got the different memory location. Okay. So that is one thing, that is it is case sensitive. Now as far as naming convention is there, okay, so any method name, class name that you should be giving, that name should always begin with the capital letter. Suppose I want to name the class. Suppose I am writing class, my class. Okay. So this should be the fashion. Okay. But if I want to name the method, then I should use the camel case. Now, what do you mean by camel case? Suppose I want to declare a method. So I will be naming the method as, suppose I want to declare a method. So this is the name of the method. Now you can see over here S is small and every other word's first letter is capital. Every other word's first letter is capital. So it is called as a camel case. Okay, so while giving the name to a method, you should always follow the camel case. That means the method name should begin with the small case letter, and further then you can move towards the uh, adding up the word, whatever number of words that you want to write, you can append them one after another by capitalizing the first character. Okay, so that is the naming convention. It does not mean that you need to give the name in this fashion only, otherwise your program will not work. No, that is not the case. Your program will still work, but it is one of the standard nomenclature um, that if you follow, then it is one of the good habit as a programmer. Okay, so that is one thing, that this uh, naming method should use the camel case. Then naming class, each new word first letter should be capital. Same thing is applicable for the variable also. Suppose I am declaring variable int, then suppose I am taking the same. Suppose I want to declare a variable. Okay. Suppose I want to declare a variable. So again the same thing should be utilized over here also. Okay, so this type of things are there which are not necessary, but if you are taking care of these are the good habits that you should be following. So this will help you to manage your program in a more systematic manner when your program grows exponentially. बहुत ज़्यादा अगर बड़ा प्रोग्राम होता है तो उस वक्त उस प्रोग्राम को रीड करना, मैनेज करना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट जाता है. तो दिस इज वन वे दैट इफ यू आर following certain standard naming convention, then it becomes a bit easier to maintain your program, to understand what that variable's purpose is, what that method's purpose is. Otherwise, there is another way also, that while declaring every variable or every method, you should write the comment, and here you can write the purpose of this variable. Okay, so here goes the purpose, so that it becomes more readable even for declaring a method also. So before the method begins, you should give the what is the purpose of it, why it is declared in this class. That is the overall purpose for that program. Okay. Now the next thing is that whenever you are writing a class, suppose this is main.java. As you can see over here, this particular file is main.java. Now this main.java can contain how many classes? Yes, can anyone tell, if anyone is knowing how many classes can be contained inside a single .java file? Infinite, no limit. Okay, there is no limit as such. You can declare n number of classes, n number of interfaces inside a single .java file. ठीक है, डॉट जावा फाइल एक ही रहेंगी, एंड यू हैव n number of classes, n number of interfaces inside that class. But there is a restriction. The restriction is that only one class can be public. ठीक है, try to understand. You have n number of classes over here also. If I am declaring the classes, I can declare n number of classes, no restriction is there. ठीक है, अगर मैंने ऐसे 10 क्लास भी डिक्लेयर किए तो भी कोई डिक्लेरेशन में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, एज फार एज आई एम मेकिंग द क्लास नेम यूनिक. ओके, बट as far as this public modifier is concerned, if I try to say give it to this only, then try to see what is the error. So as you can see, what is the error? The error is that my class 2 is a public and should be declared in a file name my class2.java. Getting it? Means every time whenever you are making any class public, it should be inside that class name .java file. It cannot remain in any uh, abrupt file. कोई भी फाइल में नहीं रह सकता. Why? Because it is public in nature, and that is the restriction, that in a complete single .java file there can be at maximum one class can be public. You cannot have two public classes inside a single .java file. ओके, क्या रीजन है उसका? बिकॉज अगर मैं ये बोल रहा हूं कि मेन क्लास मेरा पब्लिक है, तो इसका मतलब ये फाइल का नाम भी main.java है. ओके, so that is why it should be inside the file name which contains the public class name. Okay, so that is regarding the file name, that you have to be very very explicit whenever you are saying that the file name should be what. So file name should be the file name of your public class. Okay, then as far as the declaration of variable, method, and all those things are concerned, there are standard convention, or there are standard rules that you have to begin your identifier with underscore, dollar, or a character. You cannot start the identifier with the number. Suppose I am trying to declare over here int too much. Okay, suppose I want to declare this variable in too much, then it will give me the error. Why? Because the identifier cannot begin with the number. So as you can see, it is not a statement. Why? Because it is too much is not applicable over here. Why? Because it is beginning with this number 2. I can write too much like this, then it is okay. It should not give me the error. Okay, so as you can see, hello world is printed. Now it is okay, too much. Even I can write dollar too much, then also it is not going to give me the problem. Okay, so it is allowed. But if I try to replace this symbol with, say, hash, then it will not work, because it is a special character. Okay, so as you can see that this is a illegal character. So every identifier can begin with either underscore, as you will see over here. If I give it underscore, then it should work. Underscore, dollar, or a character A to Z, small or capital. Okay, so that is the standard Java identifier naming convention. Then moving further, you will have certain modifier, as public is one of the modifier. Then you have modifiers. Those are access modifier and non-access modifier. Okay, so here it comes default. Okay, default is there, then public is there, then protected is there, then private is there. Okay, so these are the modifier. These are called as a access modifier. What is the meaning of access modifier? That means they are going to take care of accessibility of the method, variable, or class. एक्सेसिबिलिटी मतलब वो क्लास, वो वेरिएबल, वो मेथड कहाँ से एक्सेस होगी. ओके, सो इफ नथिंग इज प्रेजेंट, okay, if nothing is present, if I am writing over here like in too much, okay, so here the modifier, access modifier, is not there. I hadn't written public, protected, or private, and even I hadn't written the default also. It means that this particular variable is having a default access modifier. Default access modifier का मतलब ये हो गया कि wherever this class will be stored, that is the whatever the package in which this class will belong, only that package class will be able to access these type of variables, methods, or classes, wherein I am not writing anything from public, protected, or private. Okay, so that is a default access modifier. It means if anything is not present, it means the access modifier default is there, and it means that that particular variable, method, or class will be accessed to that particular package only. No other class can access it outside the package. ठीक है. Then next is your public. So public, that means it is accessible to all the classes or methods which are even outside the package. Okay, protected means that if two class are correlated with each other with the child parent relationship, अगर दो क्लास के बीच में चाइल्ड पेरेंट रिलेशनशिप है, ओके, सपोज दिस इज योर पेरेंट क्लास and this is your child class, then in this scenario this will be uh, having the accessibility uh, related to the class only. Okay, so it will be the single class, like say a particular class which is accessing this, then only that class will have this accessibility. Okay, so for example, if I am saying that this is my parent class and this is my child class, then parent class, if I am saying that shape is my parent class, okay, and circle is the child class. Okay, so circle is my child class. So here there is a relationship between these two classes, and this can be taken care by this protected method. मतलब क्या है कि अगर प्रोटेक्टेड आइडेंटिफायर, अगर एक्सेस मॉडिफायर लगा है, इसका मतलब यहाँ पे जो भी क्लास चाइल्ड क्लास है उसी को एक्सेस मिलेगा, अनरिलेटेड क्लास को एक्सेस नहीं मिलेगा. ओके, एंड प्राइवेट आइडेंटिफायर इज दैट वेर इन only within the class that particular variable